tonight we got Kyle Curtis in house. We're going to talk to him about the GoFundMe. We're going to talk to him about all the other stuff going on, current events. And we're going to talk about the lasting repercussions of the harassment campaign against Katie Joy Paulson, as now there are people out in her community that has to do with her business and her job who still think things like the fake screenshots and the fake email are real. And it's being spread around as we speak as a lasting damage of what's happened. And also, I want to send a message to dead cuckoodies in space and just say, it's okay, big guy. It's okay. I'm just playing, y'all. All right. I gotta be nice. I can't be mean. All right, here we go. Oh, that song is pumping. Let me wake up Busy. I forgot to wake Busy up. All right. Busy, come on now. Let's go. He's almost here. Hold on. Oh, there we go. How you doing, Biz? Good. Well, turn off your microphone. We're going to be talking to Kyle. Kyle, how's it going, man? How you been?
I just got done smoking a pipe with Busy. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. Oh, shit. I think I just... did I mute you? No? I invited you to somebody's server on accident. My bad. All right. So the GoFundMe, man, it's going massively good. What are you at now? 2,500? Something like that?
To 2,500. I know. I was. I'm kind of blown away by the support from everyone. Is one of the reasons why I wanted to come on tonight to say thank you and let everybody know that how much that means to me, and also the comments by some of the people on there are just golden and should be definitely paid attention to. So I thought maybe reading a couple of those later on in this stream would be kind of fun as well.
Yeah. Oh man, we're going to be pulling it up in just a minute. Actually, I think yeah, we'll go right into that. So before we go there though, I just want to make sure we get out to the community. Do you have a deadline? I had a few people send me questions they want me to ask you. So do you have a deadline on the GoFundMe? Do you need it by a certain day? And if you don't get it by that day, is it going to be okay? Like, can you just explain like what options you have if you need to have more time or,
Yeah, sure. Well, like I said, number one, thank you to anybody that has donated. And even if you haven't donated financially, I've been getting a lot of messages from people, just words of support and stuff like that. And you have no idea how much that has meant to me. I love all of you guys. And I'm just blown away by the amount of support from everyone. I will be taking the GoFundMe off on Sunday because I'm going to be the first payment of the retainers due on Monday. And so I'm just going to let it go until then. I didn't expect, honestly, to be sitting where I'm at now. Again, I've just been blown away with the amount of support, and I want to thank each of you guys individually for doing that. It has meant a lot, and it's really cool to kind of see that support out there, because in this whole entire drama, there's plenty of blame to go around on both sides. I've done my fair share of shitty things in this, and I know that people out there didn't definitely have to, reach out and help me the way that they have. But it means a lot, and I am deeply, deeply humbled by the support.
So like by Monday, you'll be able, like your lawyer will be good though, like with the amount, if it hits 3 or 4 or because it's at 25 now. We're not going to have to worry because we can try to do another push or whatever we need to do, like you don't look, I know how you feel. I know you feel like it's probably, shitty for you to have to do it this way. But as you've seen, people want to help you because everybody in the community's kind of been affected by this. It's almost like a fracture that went through. And now it seems like there's these two sides out there. It's just this really dumb kind of childish cancel culture BS that's happening. Of course, people make mistakes, and how are you guys supposed to deal with the success? Nobody knows how to deal with a successful YouTube channel, for God's sakes. Look at me, you know? So, you know, we just want to make sure you're good to get the lawyer representing you and all that, so.
That is definitely the case. I mean, nobody, you know, lets you know how you're supposed to respond to things.
Yeah.
I am hoping that you know, we hit sort of close to that. I'll have a conversation with my attorney on Monday if that's not the case. I think that she will work with me though. We just kind of set that you know, that base amount out there. But I think that, you know, in this, there, like you said, there's been a lot of it's affected everybody, and it does feel kind of shitty of me. I wrestled back and forth with how, you know, if I should do this or not, because frankly, I don't think other people should, you know, have to pay for, you know, the things that this case
but I mean,
has sort of brought out. But
you shouldn't have to.
Have another option.
You shouldn't have to, though, because in all reality, look, here's what I did, and I people want me to like talk to you about this because it's come up on my show a few times. So I look at this whole thing and I tell myself that if there was one thing that he could show me that was a legitimate something that showed that you guys had a 50-50, more than just for the videos he was on, then maybe like there would be a little bit of an argument. But I don't even understand how he's sued you, because in the beginning he'd promised that there was a contract, and then it, like I said, it was a written agreement, and then it was an email, then it was a hangout conversation, and then it wasn't even in the hangout conversation. So my point is, like, without him showing us something, I don't even think you should have to pay. It's almost like with the Katie situation. Why does she have to pay an enormous amount of money so that he'll stop harassing her and just criticize her? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of jacked, but yeah.
I agree. I think the way it's played out really sucks. But you know, if we go back to the death of the non sequitur video, where I said over and over again, I'm willing to work with Steve and give him, you know, half of the videos that he was in as a way to not even get to this point. But what happened was he got so crazy and were going after so many people that had absolutely nothing to do with what was going on between the two of us, and he was so vitriolic and he harassed so many. I mean, we've seen the stuff with Katie and other people. I mean, he just went berserk, and you know, at that point, after that, I was like, well, I'm not willing to work with Steve anymore. But my ultimate point is, we didn't have to get to this point. Like, we didn't have to come to where people are having to get restraining orders against him. He is aligning himself with, you know, some of the most horrific people that you can imagine. And
it's pretty shocking.
It's crazy. This whole case has been just it's like you wake up every day and you're like, well, what's going to happen today? Because every day it's something new.
Yeah, man. He's working with a dude who has openly, and the clips are on, I've played several of the clips since he started working with them, openly doxed, I think, 4 or 5 different YouTubers, and it just admits straight to it. Like, he'll literally, like, you can find clips of him admitting straight to it, who claims to have created the QAnon conspiracy theory. And it seems so crazy that a debunker of Flat Earth is okay with a guy who didn't necessarily create the conspiracy theory, but wants to convince the internet that he did for years, and he's never once changed that story. And it's kind of strange, a debunker hanging out with one of the most, if he's telling the truth, he's the biggest conspiracy theorist ever. So you're right about what you just said.
Well, that's just the beginning. I mean, you're talking about, that's a debunker hanging out with somebody who is a conspiracy person. But let's talk about the self-proclaimed, what do you say about his ethics? His ethics are
impeachable.
The impeachable ethics. Hanging out with someone that was convicted of R, making him an RA.
Oh God!
David Silverman, who looked straight into the camera and said, I want to harass her now. I want to harass her now. Boy, he jumped off of that boat really quick. Lily Jean, who lied to her audience about the number of subscribers that she had, the places she had went, the company she worked with, somebody who says that secondhand smoke isn't a thing, somebody who hung out at Burger King with a firearm and used the N-word.
Yeah.
That's his merry band of that's his merry band of impeachable ethics. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, dude. And I think it's kind of like threw the community for a loop. I've talked to a lot of bigger YouTubers in our community, not out in the open yet, but I've talked to them behind the scenes, and it's just a lot of people were shocked once they saw the facts in this story. And now with this RO, it's kind of cemented, because honestly, I internet drama is internet drama, but the RO is a real life, real world thing. It's kind of extreme, and it's kind of scary, honestly, you know. I mean, it is. Could you imagine like internet shit getting you an RO? Like, wow.
To me, I think it's like for him to feel good or to try to make it out like he is on some moral crusade for the things that he has not only done but condoned through the groups that he set up, the things that he has said and done, where somebody is literally taking pictures outside of Katie's house, the neighbors calling their I know you're going to talk about it, their
we'll pull it up. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think it's shameful and disgusting. Like, he is a pathetic excuse for an individual, and certainly somebody that can't say he has impeachable ethics, to be able to do that to someone who had nothing to do with the problem that he has going on with myself, and somebody that accused him of making them feel uncomfortable. I mean, that was a legitimate thing that Katie experienced, and for him to just not apologize, not say, well, I'm sorry if you felt that way, that wasn't my intention, but he just went full on creep and despicable. I mean, he's just a deplorable human being. So
yeah, man, honestly, anyone else would have, I mean, I was talking about this on Periscope today or yesterday. The Barbra Streisand effect is like the backbone of this whole story, because honestly, when I went and I've been like pulling everything for a documentary I'm putting out on the cyber stalking campaign of Katie Joy Paulson. It's going to be a documentary I have. And in the beginning, she just talked in the non sequitur chat and said that he made her feel uncomfortable. And once he found out, he grabbed those screenshots and basically, you know, from then went higher and higher until he blasted that out. And if nobody would have threw attention, if they wouldn't have thrown anything on what was said in that live chat, we would not even have heard about any of this. It would have just went by like another live chat. But instead, it's at a restraining order and a lawsuit and all this other stuff. It's literally going to be a crazy story. Though what you said about Katie, go ahead.
I was going to say, he's deluded himself to think that he is in the right here, and the almost craziest part of that is the fact that he has people that, for whatever reason, refuse to acknowledge that there is a problem or an issue, or that he has been it's demonstrated that he has lied over and over again, harassed people, and him and his tight-knit group of followers, for whatever reason, have deluded themselves to think that they are doing the right thing, that this monster must be stopped at any cost. And when he got bitch slapped up the head with that restraining order, I think that was a dose of reality to him and some of the people that follow him.
I hope so. We've got a few things to show and talk about on that. But yeah, what you brought up about Katie, she put out this tweet at 2:47 p.m. I believe it was, today, because today's the 19th. Yes, I don't know these things. I'm an irresponsible... Shut up, Busy! I'm an irresponsible YouTuber. Just found... I don't know what day it is, peeps. Just found out that my husband's record label, their business and a brewery, received 40 messages last night from a woman that sounded drunk, called Little Red, and was leaving them death threats about me. When will this stop? And this just happened. Like in the last day or two. It's not stopped. And the source of this, the source of where this comes from, and it's easy to see, is that troll group. So let me ask you, I am under the opinion that if these little groups, that the only YouTubers in that group are him with whatever he's got now, 17, well, if we minus the bots, we'll just go ahead and count the bots. He's at 17,000. Yeah, exactly. He's at 17,000 subs. And then, like, I think that's what gives them gives the people in that group, they kind of look up and say, there's a 17,000 subscriber YouTuber in here with us. We have to be right. That has to say something. But I'm under the impression that his presence and him, you know, putting out what he does instigates a lot of this. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Wholeheartedly. You know, but imagine being that pathetic and being that just sad that you call somebody 40 times for what? Like, for what?
I could only imagine. God, I want to hear those messages so bad. I do.
What is and the thing is, like, they're not doing Steve any favors by doing this, because what it's going to wind up happening is it's going to reflect on him. He's going to be found that he's still instigating these sort of harassments on her, and that judge isn't already not playing as it is, but he's not being smart, and they're really not being smart. But I think if anything, it shows you that they're just some complete idiots out there, like no brain.
Oh yeah.
It's sad to me. I think it's sad and pathetic.
Some people will go as far as to say that they must be mentally ill. And of course, we don't know. I mean, you can only assume, but you know, you don't. Okay, so let's say you hate Katie Joy Paulson, y'all. What in the Sam hell does her husband, not her husband, but her husband's employer's friend, like the people at where he used to work at a couple places, how does that affect her? It doesn't affect her. Why do you harass them?
I think you could look at me. Let's take me, for example. I despise Steve McRae. He has been the bane of my existence since 2018. But yet I'm not calling people that are in his circle and 40 times. I'm not creating all of these groups on Reddit or Facebook or anything like that. I'm going about my life, and you know, when those things come up and I have to address them, then we do that. I'll criticize them or him whenever, you know, shit happens. But for the most part, I'm not going out there calling people around him 40 times. And you know why? It's because I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Or I'm not. I don't
obsessed.
Have something. Yeah, it's. I can't fathom it. Like, you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that has a despise for an individual like I do for Steve McRae. But you know, I'm not going to be doing that because it's not normal, and it doesn't do anything.
It's scary, bro. It leads to these like horror stories you hear out there. Now, you know, like I said, this isn't even really going to affect. I don't even think her husband's working at these places anymore. So it's like, again, it's just harassing people that may have had a connection, which most likely none of them do anyway, because like they probably just walked by in the office and saw him once, if anything. It's absolutely batshit. But this. Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
This led me to a thought. And so I went out this afternoon and talked to my peeps and asked them if they had ever seen Steve disavow any type of behavior like this, other than twice where big things happened. And of course, he might made like a quick tweet. But you all know we have several members of our squad fam that are inside of the troll group and a couple other groups about Katie Joy, and they just kind of pretend to be bystanders. We have not been able to source or pull him disavowing this behavior anywhere. And some of the stuff that's left in this troll group that isn't moderated by the administrator, who we all know who the administrator is, it just stays there, and it's all like this. I 100% think that Katie's got one of the most rock solid cases that he is. There's no good reason. Like, if I found out somebody in my server was doing some kind of harassment to another YouTuber, I would immediately not only disavow it and tell people not to do it wherever I could, especially in a live stream or anywhere, but then I'd make sure that I kick the person that was doing it to the best of my ability. You just don't see that happening. It's all unchecked, and I think that's what leads to this personally.
They think that they're, they think that they're doing, like I said, some moral. It's this, like the other day, I believe it was 62 IQ Chesh posted my arrest records in a stream, and I have been extremely open about that. I've done several streams on my channel about my experiences in prison. So number one, I don't know what they think that they're doing, or if they think
desperate.
that they're one-upping. But they, I will say, as awful as that mugshot was that she showed of
I
me
didn't see it, but
from back in the day, I think that it has beat the images that leaked of her a couple weeks earlier.
Oh my God! I had to use bleach on my eyeballs for weeks, for days. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, but I'm just kidding. I wasn't joking. No, okay. I got to read this really quick. Canis, Katie's husband, left a super chat and said this: "I need to protect my record label and their other businesses, so I won't say much. But today should have been a good day for us because our new album was officially released. I want to hear your new album, and I want permission from you to use one of your songs in something, Canis. So hit me up this weekend or something, and we'll figure that out. But also let me know so I can share it. We'll figure it out though. But no, true, man. And look, all I can say though is I did a little asking around, and I haven't heard this directly from Katie or her husband, but I was told that authorities were called and is investigating who did the phone calls. I have heard that. And they're taking it very seriously. So I wouldn't be surprised if Little Red winds up in jail here in a few months. But
are they taking it as seriously as when Steve called the DA and a detective in Randolph County about the strikes that were put on his channel?
Oh my God, dude, that is so bad. Let's talk about that for a second, because hold on. I gotta comment on the prison thing first. Yeah, you've been completely... I got distracted by the super chat, and I'll hit all super chats. Just give me time. But yeah, the thing is, you've been really open about that. It was a figure on your channel. I've seen several streams you've done where you've mentioned it and dedicated those streams to it. And here's the other part. He knew this about you, and quote unquote, according to his rendition of the story, trusted you to be an unsigned, with no contract, 50-50 business partner who paid him under the table. So, I don't want
to... a problem.
Yeah.
It's just like you. The thing is, like me, when he said that he started out with a convicted felon filed, false CMCA. Now it's a problem. Now the fact that I'm a convicted felon is a problem. When things were good, Kyle's above reproach. Same thing with you. When you were on his side, you were the greatest thing. You did the best investigative stories.
Oh yeah.
The moment you criticized him is, you can't even tie his shoes. Fuck off.
Can't even tie his shoes. Yeah.
Honestly,
I don't know how are they that dumb? Because it has to come down to their intelligence. It has to at this point. Can they not remember what they said just a few months ago, considering it's on the internet, and they should be watching their old streams and at least clicking through them and adding certain, SEO optimizations and things like that, or maybe clipping some of them for promotional purposes. And I don't think they do any of that. I think they just hit play and talk, and they forget what they say the next day through a drunken haze, and then wind up showing everybody how hypocritical they are. It's kind of sad, honestly.
It's one by one, everybody in his circle, the moment that they wise up and they go, hold on a minute, maybe Steve isn't really being... What happened with Jim Hall from Atheist Edge? Yeah. The moment that he... Nick... The moment that, it one by one, these people in their group get booted out. Chess is just too dumb to wake up to what he's doing, so she'll be rooted in there, and Reds, for whatever
Well,
reason, they're
Reds and Chesh, they make money off Steve, so that's Steve
they?
and Reds. Oh, they're thick as thieves with their GoFundMe scams. I have an entire
Oh,
documentary, a whole documentary
yeah.
coming out about that. It's just going to come up after the Katie Joy one. But Cheshire slipped up on one of his streams, and I have this clip. I don't have it right now, or I'd play it available, but I do have it archived. I have it available to me if I dig for it, where she admits that his channels are in her name and she's the one who gets the payouts. So it makes sense why she pulls all the strings, I think, because
this goes to that. Now he claims that I bamboozled him or stole the channel from him or whatever. What do you think the reason for having the channels in Chesh's name would be? Like, why is it that Steve never keeps channels in his name?
I could guess. I have some guesses, but I don't. I do think that I don't believe the Medi-Cal story personally. I think the Medi-Cal story is a diversion because the Medi-Cal never made sense for what he originally stated the Medi-Cal was for. I can't take this non-sec money because my Medi-Cal. That didn't work because if you look into it, whatever he took from non-sec would have never affected Medi-Cal. I think there's something else that he doesn't want to be upfront about, and it makes him do those things. But then again, that's only my opinion, so who knows? I just think that this is what I've been finding out. It's when, example, when I first criticized Steve, I expected Cheshire and Red's Rhetoric, who both got a hold of me. First, Chesh wanted to come on D Live with me, and she did. And then Reds wanted me to call into his show, which I did. And I expected it to be this regular conversation where they would also criticize Steve once seeing the evidence. And when I realized, no, oh, hell no. They don't even want to see the evidence, and they are blindly defending him. It was just like, huh. And every single person that does that for him, except for maybe people like Atheist Edge and Nick Suter, they end up having some weird thing going on with him behind the scenes, like weird GoFundMes, where they lie about what they're doing with the money, or they lie about this or that, or, my channel's in her name. So, I would go as far as to say it's starting to make a lot of sense. But then again, nobody knows when you're dealing with someone who will lie to you about the smallest thing. Then it's just it's a mess. It's almost like when I investigated Pizzagate and ended up debunking it based on its core fact. It takes a long time to find the core fact when there's all these lies around it. So who knows?
He's just it's everything's so chaotic with him. Like, he would do himself such a huge favor if he would learn to, when you make a mistake, when you do something wrong, that maybe it takes you a while to wake up to the fact that you maybe messed up a little bit, to just admit that fact. Instead, what you have with him is he doubles down on it. And anyone that disagrees with what he's double downing on are unethical trolls. Isn't it funny how anybody that has any sort of criticism for Steve is a troll automatically?
Mm-hmm.
And you just see the hypocritical examples. Like when we split and I was still trying to maintain the show, I was accused of turning off the thumbs up, thumbs down, deleting comments, none of those two, and buying subs. Those three things. I was accused of those three things. None of those three things happened. You can go back and you can see on each video the thumbs up, thumbs down are on. All the comments are there calling me, the shittiest person in the world, hoping that I died tomorrow. All of those comments are still there, and no buying of subscribers. But who was really guilty of those things? Who really turned off the thumbs up, thumbs down? Who deleted comments? Who bought subscribers? And if
I still
there's
can't
people out there
believe
that
that,
don't
dude.
think he bought subscribers, he bought subscribers. The
Oh, he
biggest
did.
owning of him was having that person come back and say, what the fuck? I didn't write this comment.
Yeah. Oh, God. I've been on YouTube, but looking at these kind of channels in these kind of situations for so long. And that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that happen. It was just straight crazy. Yeah. This dude comes in and says, I didn't write this comment. What the hell? Yeah. Crazy town.
Right.
Yeah. What's funny about that, this day right here, in one of my streams, I laughed because somebody had brought me a piece of information saying, yeah, you were right, Uni. He was just trying to get more subs than you. Because people would tell me that. He's going to stop buying subs right after he passes UNIRock 2. And I said, no, he won't. That's so dumb. If any, I've already got another channel with 37,000 subs. There's no way he would try to beat UNIRock 2. He's probably trying to beat non-sec.
He'll do that when he gets the non-sequitur show.
Yeah.
Uni. Once he gets non-sec back,
then it'll start going up.
he'll come for UNIRock 2.
Yeah. But yeah, so when I said that day, then he bought subs 3 more times to make sure he's got 300 more than UNIRock. So it was just so funny. Just so
That's
funny.
totally. But the thing is, like, if you look back to when he started gaining in subscribers, anybody that is remotely knows anything about YouTube or has been paying attention to this story, Steve was actually losing subscribers at a fast. He was at 13.5 at one point, went all the way down to 13.7 or 6.
Yeah.
Or 12.7 or 6, and then jumped up. Now, in that meantime, did Steve get any more interesting? Did Steve have a big change in content? Did Steve have streams
that were whatsoever
worth watching? No, nothing changed. Nothing.
Yeah, he's magic, dude. If he didn't buy subs, he has won the subscriber lottery, the 1 in 5 billion chance.
The only way this is true is if all of that, that influx of 4,000 or some odd subs are agnostics. Yeah. And they found Steve debating
every
on
agnostic in the world,
the definition, and they said we must ban behind our agnostic
our agnostic
brother.
overlord. Then
in that case, I can see that, but
other than
that, no, they're bald.
Okay, so let's get down in the nitty gritty. First, I'm going to open up. No, first we're doing this. Let me get this opened. We are going to your GoFundMe. Then we'll talk a little more about the harassment campaign against Katie Joy Paulson, because I really do think that we all, and I mean everybody, who thinks it's wrong for Katie Joy to be not criticized. Criticize her all you want publicly. I think that, though, anyone that thinks it's wrong that this type of harassment's happening to her should expect every one of her criticizers to go on a campaign, a very small one in comparison to their hate campaign, to make sure that everybody publicly understands that they do not support Katie being called, harassed, her kid, her husband being brought up, and that they only support criticism. I think that should be demanded from those accounts. But before we go there, let's take a look. You've raised $2,610. How much has Steve raised? $2,800. That has to sting. That has to really sting.
Start. I think it does also sting to him because he hates that there's any sort of support my way, and if he had it his way, then he would be just steamrolling me through this lawsuit. But that's not going to happen. I think that not only are the things in the case on the line, like the channel and the fees and that sort of thing, but it goes deeper than that. And I think that the harassment campaign that he's waged against all these people, the things that he does to people in the community, this has to be a big loss to him. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that that happens, because he can't walk away with what he's done to people and be rewarded with something like he's going after in the lawsuit. I can't see that happening.
I can't see him winning the lawsuit or getting the RO thrown out, because, Katie, one of his buddies just called Katie's freaking husband's old work and his other work and his other work and threatened death on Katie 40 times. I don't know how he doesn't kick that person. I know who the person is that did it. I don't know how he doesn't know, and how he doesn't take action to kick them out of his group. But that also is why it's still happening, though. Anyway, we've got... strange. It is. We'll get into it in a little bit, too, because everybody wants to see. I know people went and donated to this because they they wanted to leave really good comments. So we want to take a look at these. All right, let's do that.
I have a couple picked out, and like you said, we'll take when we take a break from this and go to more deeper in the harassment campaign. We'll come back and I'll read off my top 5, but I'll send you a couple warm-ups right now.
Yeah, hit it. Well, hold on. We'll do that in 20 seconds. Let's just take a quick break. Thank you all for being here. I love you. Don't go anywhere. We're only taking 20 quick seconds. I got Kyle Curtis on the line talking about the future of non-sec, harassment of Katie Joy, the GoFundMe campaign. What can we expect in the coming weeks? All that's coming up. Don't go anywhere. This is UNIRock Live. Hit it. Okay. So, give me a couple of your top. What we'll do is you give me one of your comments or your favorite ones or whatever you got, and I'll read one of the super chats and we'll go back and forth. Then we'll hit some of these random ones. So, what do you got? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry.
Order.
Restart. My bad. I had you muted. I had us both muted. Go ahead, man.
We'll start out with Steve's restraining order, who says, the day I met my new friend Steve, he was sitting on a dirty towel in front of the home of his closet, taking pictures of his feet with his track phone. His screams frightened me, if I'm honest. Apparently, he had just made a post that he was waiting for the FBI to show up. I was sorry to be such a disappointment. Anyway, hashtag Uni was right.
Oh my God, man. Wow. Wow. Okay, and we've got Owl Horror 666 upgraded their membership to the stream fam. Thank you. Leslie Yu, thank you for joining. Leroy with the unicorn sticker. You know, every unicorn sticker really angers old Perry. Yeah, he called me a unicorn, so. Keon, thanks for joining. ProLib, hey, thanks, buddy. Kathy, you and I says, Wormhole 3.0 introduced me to a whole new generation of electronic music. So thanks, dude. Anytime, buddy. And I'm going to look that up. I don't know if I remember it. You got another one. Go ahead, Kyle. Hit us with more.
Kyle's mom's mailman says, neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom. I will deliver improperly served court papers. Hashtag Uni was right.
Oh, I love it. Leroy, 2 more stickers, a unicorn and a rainbow. Thanks, man. You and I. Weiss, I've heard that, actually. Asteroid Rain gets me every time, Uni. I'm going to see if I can use that one. Leroy, again, with 3 more stickers and says, Uni has to sober Busy up, question mark. I wish I could. He never stops. You never stop, Busy. Quit hanging out with dead Kennedys in space smoking crack. Don't smoke his Zoloft or whatever it was. All right, you got any more? Go ahead, man.
Funny. Steve's library background says, you left me behind, Steve. You got upset with Kyle. You used to make me look good. Well, now I'm going to have the last laugh with your duct-taped headphones. Hashtag
His library background. Oh, my God. Yeah. That's so true. That's so true.
Here's a quick one real quick, too. Chesh's Secondhand Smoke says, my secondhand smoke isn't bad. It just smells as bad as Steve's unwashed hair.
Oh, my God. Did you see the other one from Chesh? It was Chesh's IQ that donated $62.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, these people are geniuses.
Oh, yeah. The memes. Geniuses. The memes.
Let me see.
Well, while you're looking, we got I need to protect my record label and their other businesses. I won't say much, but today should have been a good day for us because our new album was officially released. And I'll make it up to you, Candace, because I'll share the hell out of that for you. And then Gabriel, what about Boominator? Have you thought about creating a new YouTube channel to continue what you've been doing and just voice your thoughts? Boominator, I like it. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
Bull a Nader says, Steve pinches me when no one's looking, and Red steals my Lunchables.
I know, I saw that one, man. It was hilarious. Somebody clipped that one and just sent it to me because it was so good. And I bet it's true too.
There was also
oh shit.
Go ahead, I need to find my other
Okay,
one.
nope, no problem. Leroy says Kyle and hugging face emoji. Gabriel, so Chesh can kick Steve. Oh my God, I would die to see that. Yeah, she could because she owns the channel, kind of, right? Christina, you and Kyle are a great show. Why, thank you, Christina. We appreciate that. And finally, Boots Mama, thank you for the membership. All right, we're caught up.
Yeah, I'll read. Let's do one more. Steve's Agnostic Rocks says, we are really atheist rocks, but arguing semantics with Steve is just so draining. Hashtag Uni was right.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, I love it, though. So we got some really good ones here. We got Teen Mom Steve donated 10. King of the Narrative. The Pope of Agnosticism donated 5 because I know that there really is no such thing as agnostic rocks. I'm a liar and a fraud. Hashtag Uni was right. Kyle's $400 suit donated $5. I'm ready for court winky face. Team Skeptic donated and said, I'm tired of simping for McBoomer. I feel like an idiot. Well, you're welcome to come back anytime, my guy. We're right here waiting on you. I'd like to, oh, go ahead.
I'd like to say real quick, whoever ex-cult member is, thank you so much, like big time. They donated $500. So whoever
my
you are,
Lord.
And their message says, none of the cult members who are creators will see any more money from me, which is a very cryptic message. But whoever you are, thank you very much.
Okay, so they said none of the other cult members who are creators will see any more money from me. So it sounds like a big donator finally stumbled upon some of the videos out there and woke up. That's really awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
The Granny Brigade says, help unwash our brains.
Hey, Uni, can we do, this is probably going to put you on the spot.
No, go ahead. No.
if you're not sure. If you stream on Sunday night, would it be cool if I jumped back on at some point and read, because any of the ones that come through between tonight and Sunday, I think would be hilarious too. So anybody that donates, if you leave a hilarious comment on Sunday, if you
before
okay
Sunday,
with it,
I'm down.
We'll come back and read them.
Yeah, that gives us today, tomorrow, and then all day Sunday. Tonight, tomorrow, and all day Sunday. Yeah, dude, Sunday night. Yeah. I'll go ahead and schedule it early, and we'll get it shared out. That works, man. That'd be awesome. Because everybody loves when you come on, man. I'm glad you're getting back on YouTube, especially after seeing. And I invite anybody out there to do what you said earlier and go to those videos on Nonsec and look at all the comments and just pick out the worst ones and just take a look. And it's just so stupid.
I used to pin the meanest, or what I thought was the worst comment. Like, you can go on several videos and see people calling me an uncultured hick. Somebody said that I hate your channel so much that I'm going to subscribe just so I can unsubscribe.
Oh my goodness!
Somebody called me the biggest one of all, or the one that carries over, is somebody said that I look like a garden gnome, a lawn gnome.
Oh my god, dude!
So I mean, I don't delete people's comments. Like, you can leave whatever. I've never been afraid of anybody's saying shit about me.
Guess what I did the other day? I ended up blocking Ruhif from my channel, and he ended up going fucking ape shit out on Twitter because of it. And I blocked him because he spammed my channel, which honestly, you did? Okay.
Well, he used to send me all of these messages, like, over Facebook Messenger, like, the days are numbered. Might as well go ahead and throw this in. Like, you can't win, all this other kind of stuff. And finally I just went, Glenn, go fuck yourself, and wow, and blocked him. But yeah, he's like, I don't know, I I can't understand someone. It's one thing to support somebody, be it like watching and, leaving favorable comments or subscribing or another. It's a whole different thing to financially throw your money behind somebody who is actively harassing. And then you get a restraining order. Like if at that point you don't say, maybe my money isn't going to something that is, a good thing. You need to reevaluate, I think, yourself. And he's shown himself to be just as, just a piece of garbage as Steve. So,
well,
they're one and the same in my book.
I've always said it, man. Ever since all this popped off, the one thing that Steve did was show the entire YouTube community who is really skeptical and who isn't, on the side of the viewer and the side of the creator. So luckily, people wake up, and the one side that won't permanently ban you is the side that, not them. They'll perma-ban you if you even criticize them. Over here, if you get banned for any reason, I unban after 24 hours. I don't keep it permanent. So,
There's
and I know a lot of other people too.
In the people, like if you look at each, like I hate using the term side. Like even from the beginning, I never told people to choose a side. Like there were people who were criticizing me that still supported Steve, that I would have conversations, like Nick. Even when we had our conversation,
me and Nick always talk too. Yeah,
he was fully supportive of Steve, and I was able to have a conversation with him. What you have is, you have on one side a group of people who, at the moment that you criticize them, even when they deserve it, you're immediately attacked as a troll, as something that's like they just go berserk. Whereas the other side, like I'm able to be in a stream. Nate Brody has criticized me a lot. You have criticized me in your streams, and yet I'm still here and able to. I know that you don't stand by a lot of what you said in the beginning, but there are still certain points where you think that I made a error in judgment, and yet I'm okay with you holding that position and still having a conversation with you, because it doesn't, like, I don't see you as some sort of enemy that needs to be eliminated. When you have somebody that criticizes you and your instant reaction is to, I need to ruin their life, I need to harass them, there's a problem with you, not with that that other side. And I think as a whole, in this community, we should be able to disagree on various points, because life is messy, it's complicated. Not everybody sees things from side to side. I have a different opinion of what happened with Non Sequitur than Johnny over here, but I can still answer Johnny's questions and have a conversation and not wish death upon him. The other side doesn't seem to be able to do that, and
none of them.
I think there's a glaring problem when that is the case, and I think that shows you where you should not sort of put your stock into anything that they say.
We got some good super chats coming in. No, I agree. And I was talking about this. See, Periscope, I have a partnered Periscope channel, and that's where I kind of like go really deep with my criticisms. I tend to act silly on YouTube. But on Periscope, I was talking about the difference between responding to a conversation in an honest fashion or a dishonest fashion. And I was breaking it down, and I was using an example like, people that are trying to actually debate somebody, they don't get hung up on semantic arguments or care about definitions or care about what, this or that, because each person communicates with their own language. And the whole goal in being intelligent is understanding them and being honest enough to try and fully hear them so that you can respond to their point with whatever you have. And that is being intellectually honest in a conversation. But what we're dealing with is a small set of people that have all banded together and held on together, and they try to use any out, any gotcha moment, any semantic argument, any definition, or any little thing they can to kind of be like, oh, you deleted a video. Oh, you did this. And it's like, that's when you're dealing with someone dishonest, being dishonest in a conversation. And that's the difference. And I think that this happening kind of elevates the community to another level, being, people that won't discuss things on a and respect the people they're talking to. They'll all be here and then all the ones that are the opposite will have to band together into their little tribe. So it sucks, but it's the way it is. Yeah.
I look at it this way. Look to people who are willing to admit when they've made a mistake, and those who don't. Like, I think that shows you, like you yourself, especially with the Katie thing, you have said over and over again, where you made the mistake and you've corrected it. Like, you have single-handedly throughout all of this really help expose where the true issues were. Like, if anything, I think at the beginning people looked at Steve and sort of had sympathy towards him, or thought that he was, getting the short end of the stick. And I think throughout all of this, whether you agree with how I did things at the end of the Non Sequitur show, I at least hope that people out there sort of understand why I did what I did, and the reasonings behind it. Because what you're seeing now play out, the Steve McRae you're seeing play out now, was the Steve that I was having to deal with on a daily basis behind the scenes.
Oh, I don't know how you did it for more than a day, dude. The minute that I criticized him and I knew how he was. See, this is what Steve didn't understand with me, is that what I've done in this Non Sequitur situation, the Katie situation, is exactly the same thing I've done looking into Pizzagate when it went viral, looking into QAnon when it went viral. I find the base problem of a situation, the thing that changes the entire story, through digging and digging and digging with respect to people's privacy, not caring to do the semantic bullshit, and then I expose it to people, and I'm like, look. And those things in this story, at least with the Katie thing, was when I went to talk to her, and she said straight out that Steve did sexually harass her, and explained to me what really happened. And then I compared it to what he said about it, and then I immediately knew what was, there was evidence. I had both sides. And that's the true, I think, lesson to learn from everything that we've always done, from its debunking at its core. You cannot debunk anything if you don't know both sides. And people that are stuck with their eyes closed, and that's why I've really triggered them by deeming all of them worse than flat earthers, because flat earthers, they do their tricks, they do what they do to believe in a flat earth. They don't hurt anybody. They suck and they're wrong, but they're out there believing in a flat earth, defending a fucking restraining order that's trying to protect a woman from death threats, harassment, and people doing what Silverman and Steve did on YouTube is just scummy. They are definitely worse than flat earthers.
They are absolutely worse than flat earthers. Flat earthers are just, stupid. They're just they just believe in something that is illogical and just dumb on its face. What they're doing is malicious and harmful, and they're actively trying to inflict harm on people. So they're far worse than flat earthers ever could be.
Did you see Keon's video that everybody just found yesterday or the day before? Have you seen it?
No.
It is Keon is a genius. And I now know why Steve hated Keon for so long. So Keon's he's been tracking Steve since years ago and saving all those clips. And he put together a video of Steve promising to burn down Katie Joy's channel. Like, literally telling everybody he's about to start this hate campaign on Katie. He got several clips of him saying that to Bill Ludlow and a few other people and put it into a stream. And it was pretty eye-opening.
How about what he did with Bill?
I don't even know that whole full story as much, but I know he told him he was going to rain down hellfire on him if he said his name again, which really opened my eyes.
It was super shitty to do that to somebody that, Bill once referred to Steve as a friend, and, Bill just politely asked him not to bring our, Steve and I's drama into Bill's world. And, for that simple response, Steve just went crazy, and it was just a really shitty thing to do to somebody that saw him as a friend.
Yeah, the Bill story is so ultimately tragic and sad, and I know that nobody knew that Bill had terminal cancer at that point, but it literally is. It kind of goes to show why Yeah, you don't treat people the way that Steve treated him, because the last thing that Bill Ludlow had on the internet was being threatened by Steve, and then he died of terminal cancer just days later. And I think that
I know it's
yeah,
shitty thing.
No, I'm not blaming Steve, but it's almost like when you have an argument with your grandma and then she passes away and you regret it forever. It's like, of course, Steve's just going to say, Bill's a fucking asshole. Who cares? But seriously, you don't want that from anybody. Okay, so Flying Monkey says, I went to nuke school. Okay, I was the janitor, but I was there. Thanks, Flying Monkey, man. Appreciate you. And I'll hit every super chat. Don't worry, guys. I'll hit them. Oh, and then Crystal didn't super chat. And listen, I will, before this is over, turn off member-only chat, and I'll take questions from you guys. I know there's people watching who aren't members that might want to ask a question, but Crystal says, Kyle and Uni, if you had handed him unreported cash, wouldn't that have left the NSS company in a position of being fined? And yeah, it would, right? Or it would lead to trouble, right? If you paid him under the table.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, apparently I was supposed to bring duffel bags of cash to NunCon. You know, that was my instruction that I had no idea about.
Yeah, dude. And that clip was the clip that changed it all. And Dragnot Silvis is who I have to thank for those clips, because it was right after I criticized Steve, the week after I created the Rock-A-Lot channel, and we were on there, and some dude in Drag's video that I was watching on the Rock-A-Lot chilling donated to Drag, or just said in the comments section, or it said in the live chat, what about that stream, Drag, where Shannon Q comes in and gets Steve to admit that he told Kyle not to pay him and that he wanted paid under the table? And I was like, immediately stopped everything at like 5 in the morning. And I was like, I need that stream now. And somebody went and got it for me. And it's so eye-opening. It's so fucked up, dude, this whole story.
Look at the people that Steve call, worthless trolls. People like Drag and Nate
Brody.
There's a long list of them, but go and watch their streams on their channel. Do yourself a favor and do some independent research on it. Go and watch their videos, and then go and watch Steve's videos, and tell me who seems irrational. Because the people like Uni, Drag, Nate, all those people, their videos are very coherent. They are logical, reasonable people, but they all have a moment in time when their paths crossed with Steve, and when Steve fucked them over at some point. Now, when you start accumulating all of these people, Bill Ludlow, me, Uni, Drag, Nate, Heretic, Fiona, there's so many, the Geek Room. There's so many people on this list that he has screwed over. Now, are all of us crazy? Are all of us like out of our minds and trying to hold some kind of grudge against this man? Or is it that he is just that shitty of a person? I think that if you think about it, rationally, there's only one real clear answer there.
Yeah, he does kind of bring people together. I'll say that to I don't think he gets what's happening here. Like he obviously doesn't see it. There is a trend that started where he is the next Darkside Phil or Wings of Redemption, like an internet lolcow that abuses their own community, lies to them, tricks them, yells at them, blocks the long-term supporters, just completely tries to destroy anyone who he even has an impression of slighting him. These are all things that they all did years ago, those people on the internet that we call lolcows now. And he just trumps himself every week, if not every day. It's a little worrisome because I don't want that for him. He sure does, though, I'll tell you.
But not as interesting as those people that you...
Yeah. Because they at least play some damn video games.
Right. You at least see Wings punching his wall and
throwing
saying,
controllers.
Look here, listen.
I love that guy, dude. I love that guy. At least they have some endearing qualities about him. Gabriel says Katie was the catalyst for the final boom out. Yeah, she definitely was. She took one for the team, I'll tell you.
He fucked with the wrong one there.
Oh, God. Katie not only stomped him into the ground, she put a restraining order on his ass, got her silver play button in the process, you know, completely explode. Oh, she is. She's going. Don't fuck with Katie Joy Paulson, y'all. I'm telling you. Like, it's pretty crazy, man, because Katie does get a lot of hate, but I said it when? December. In December, I said Katie Joy has a hate mob that would be on a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel. It's something you'll see when you go look at PewDiePie's, or not right now, but how they used to be, and other people who blow up. And I said Katie is about to blow up, and look now, she just hit that 100,000. She's still going strong.
I think it's you know, unfortunate that that's the case, but I think in the field that she's in and the things that she talks about, that's a very cutthroat you know, genre, and people, you know, there's a lot of personalities and things that you have to deal with, but she's tough as nails, and she's been doing great and killing it. And like I said, he messed with the wrong one on this one, and she'll be just fine, and she'll be climbing. Her subscriber count will be climbing while Steve fades into irrelevancy. So
113,000 subs. When is this going to stop? Probably when she gets up into the hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And then all this is going to be a memory for Katie. It's just going to be a memory in the past. And I just don't understand why. What we're all used to, this place being us publicly showing our faces, and I know some people don't, and that's fine, but getting on YouTube and giving their opinion about something. And the minute that I found out that he was engaging in secret troll groups, it was right from November to December, and the minute that I found out that he didn't care to fact check screenshots, oh, that brings us here. Here. This says from Chrissy Southern. I don't know who Chrissy Southern is. I think she's kind of like a famous person or a YouTuber. I don't know. Somebody in the chat tell us. But Chrissy says, without a crystal ball, this is recent. Without a crystal ball, her name is Katie Joy Paulson, isn't any better either. Just a YouTuber, just YouTube her and you'll see that she is just as sick and twisted as the Staufers. A YouTube mom's son died and she blamed the death on the mom, even though that baby had a genetic disorder. There are plenty of screenshots of it. And
Southern,
again,
you are an idiot.
Yes, she is. But then this is the thing. When these types, I mean, look at Pizzagate. It still exists. It still has, like, QAnon just had a channel get 300,000 views on one of its videos, and it was promising that the Democrats of the world are about to be put in Gitmo and be killed, be murdered, be hung with no trial, because that's the QAnon conspiracy theory. Now, they've said that since November of 2017, and they always say it'll be next week or next month. And now it is 2020.
That happens with a lot of things. That happens with these religious cults that say that the world's going to end, you know, on X date, or the Mayan calendar is going to run out. The thing is, it boils down to a juicier story. It's a more dramatic and juicier story to twist Katie into being some kind of malicious person that posts things about a mom being responsible about or their son's death. It sells without, you know, anything to do with monetary, but the views. People look at Steve's channel, for example. Anytime he talked about the hill he wants to die on, which is atheism and agnosticism, the views shrink up. But the moment that he puts, you know, Nonsec in a title, Uni in a title, or Katie in a title, he gets an explosion of views, and that's because the drama sales. It doesn't matter to these people if what they're saying is true or not. It's how outlandish can you be, and how wild can you make the story, and people fall for that, and it's unfortunate, but that's why we need to teach critical thinking in school, I think.
Yeah, we need to not only teach critical thinking in school, we need to reinforce on the internet the fundamental fact that my entire first channel was built on, that I try to carry through every channel I have, even my gaming channel, which is, you can have whatever opinion you want, but you can't believe anything that comes from the internet without evidence, without absolute evidence. And look at this. I mean, let's just pretend that back in December, I accepted those screenshots as real. and shared them without questioning them whatsoever. Let's pretend that I'm like Red's Rhetoric, or that I'm like another one of these YouTubers out there that simp for Steve, and I just said, okay, Steve, fine. Yeah, Katie put these screenshots out. It wouldn't just be one or two people going around spreading it around still to now. It would be an accepted thing, because I was the only one that even challenged those screenshots back then. And they are fake, and still people spread them around. It's very sad. It's pathetic even.
Yeah, it's you know, they're same thing with the flat Earth. You know, they're a group of people that buy into that for you know, for whatever reason, whether it be that it's edgy. You know, a lot of people, I think, join in with different groups because they're seen as the, you know, the underdog or the outcast. Like you know, Steve has to be careful too, because a lot of his sort of beliefs and attitudes align with a lot of personalities that are extreme, you know, like David Silverman and his you know, his going full-fledged MGTOW. I think that draws in a lot of people that will join up on Steve's side that don't necessarily have anything to do with this situation, but they're gonna they're gonna hitch to his star because of the tones, like streaming with David Silverman, and that just brings a whole entire other group, and those are the people that are gonna, you know, buy into something like that because Steve is being oppressed somehow.
Yeah, and it's scary, because if you look at how, like, if you go find stories where people have been murdered, or hate campaigns or stalking or cyber stalking has turned into an actual really bad crime that affects people's lives permanently, it follows a progression. And if he does maintain movement into those types of circles, which he's already gone to Christian apologists and started work, like with G-Man's a Christian apologist, isn't he? And then there's this other lady, he's not working with G-Man, but he's working with this lady now who is a admitted Christian apologist that is basically as bad as a conspiracy theory. S.J. Thompson,
SJ, yeah.
And if he continues moving into this side of the place, if he tries to say, you know, the only people that accept me are worse conspiracy theorists than YouTubers, or than flat earthers, if he goes there, he is following the progression that leads to these things, and it's scary.
Yeah. And it just leads us to horrible shit. Like remember what he said about ProLib on Twitter, and the what was that tweet? Something about being
abused as a kid, and
yeah. I mean, it was just it was just something that was just disgusting, the way that he characterized ProLib. And ProLib is somebody too that has been, you know, critical of me in a lot of areas, but I think it's been fair criticism. And I still you just have to watch these, like all of these people, like Uni, ProLib, Nate, like listen to their stories, watch their videos, and there's a common theme in all of them, and that is that anytime that paths are crossed with this individual, there is something shitty that he does, and people have to wake up to that. Like, it's at a certain point, it just becomes, these people are being willfully ignorant and just doing it, you know, for shits and giggles, or because they're bored, or, you know, because they want to harass somebody, like calling somebody 40 times, and not even calling the person, not even calling the person that you're trying to target. Like you're contacting her husband, or
that's worse than SJW shit. It's literally what they're doing. They're trying to contact their jobs and get a reputation going because they're that desperate. And okay, so we got some super chats, and I want to address the last one, because we still get this narrative out there that's pushed out, and I don't think people have seen the clips. Either they haven't seen certain clips, or I don't know, they're just purposely spreading it. But the Stoned Apostate says, I was an NSS patron. I've unsubbed from Steve's platforms. I don't like the direction he's gone. But that being said, Kyle, you were in the wrong with NSS. Well, do you do videos, the Stoned Apostate? Because I'd love for you to do a video and show us how Kyle was wrong with NSS. Because, yeah, he might have made mistakes when it came to NSS. But we've got, and I've gone through this a million times, and I really can't find anybody who will actually respond. But we've got two separate sides. We've got two claims. And one claim is that they had a 50-50 business partnership. Now, Kyle, even in the Death of Non Sequitur show, states clearly to Stephen Reds, they did not have the 50-50 business partnership. They had a 50-50 agreement on the money that Steve would get paid. So if you're saying that Kyle should have paid Steve, I disagree. I think that he shouldn't have paid Steve for one reason, and I don't want to ramble, but I'll tell you that. But the only thing Kyle may have done wrong when it came to the NSS situation is not kick Steve out sooner, in my opinion. I'll let Kyle talk in 2 seconds because the reason I think that Kyle should not have paid Steve is because I can play a clip of you, for you, of Shannon Q going to Steve while he's doing a stream, trying to pay him out that night and guaranteeing him the money, paying him off, letting him know you'll be kicked off the show, but you're going to get your money. I'll go get the money. Kyle will send it to you with the books right now. I've played this clip a million times. And he says no. And Red says no. Then Cheshire jumps in and says no. So if Kyle was trying to pay Steve and then Steve started to attack Kyle, I don't see anything wrong with Kyle waiting until Steve sues him to pay him. Because why do you pay anyone who you don't have a signed contract with, you don't have any signed agreement with, who literally destroys your business through telling people to stop sending money to it on lies that he told? Sorry, Kyle. I had to get that out.
Oh, you're fine. First of all, what was it? Stoned Ape?
Stoned. It just disappeared. Stoned Apologist or something. I don't know.
Stoned Ape. Thank you for your patronage, as long as you were a patron. It's fine that you hold the opinion that, I was wrong in that. I think I did a couple things wrong in how I handled it. I think that I wouldn't have been so sort of brash and petty in that the Death of Non Sequitur video if I could go back and do it over again. But I will wholeheartedly disagree with you when it comes to the actual splitting with Steve or kicking Steve off. I think, like I said, now you can look at the situations that are happening, everywhere in the YouTube verse with Steve, and see that that's just not somebody that you want to be associated with, especially if you're a show that is based primarily on guests and the interaction that you have and the relationships that you have with a guest. If you have somebody that is so polarizing as that, it is not, you just can't continue like that. So I don't regret breaking off with Steve, but I appreciate your opinion, and I think it's fine that you hold that.
Well, I have a couple more things to talk to you about because I have a new realization and want to ask you about it. Also, I want to hit the rest of these super chats, and we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes, so we'll get ready to not close out the show, but we're going to wind it down. We're going to take 30 seconds. I have to grab something to drink. I'm out. So everybody, you get 30 seconds. Kyle, I'm going to mute us out now, and thank you all for being here, and thank you for the super chat. I don't have any issue with you. I honestly hope you do respond and show me why you think he was wrong. Explain why. Because I've got some video clips based on the reason why you think he's wrong. I can play some video clips of McRae maybe saying one thing here, but saying the opposite there, and I can show you where a lot of people think what they do about NSS simply because he lied so much during the breakup. Either way, though, 30 seconds. I need to get a drink. Let's do it. here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry, guys. It took me a second. It took me a second to run upstairs. Now, Kyle, I hope you're still there. Oh, you're muted. Now you're unmuted. What, you know, I would love it. I mean it. I would love it if some of the people out there who have those opinions about non sequitur or any of this situation start making some commentary videos. Why do you think there is such a lack of content from the other side? Why do they do these campaigns on Twitter? They go around in live chats doing campaigns, but we ever so rarely get anybody uploading any content that actually puts out a well thought out opinion on, you know, the death of non sequitur or the Katie Joy situation. I can't even get a good damn criticism video of Katie put out so that I can actually look at what's there and respond to it. Why do you think that is?
Just you would have to address the points in which either there are holes in the story or contradictions or just flat out lies that come from Steve's side. There's no way to sort of do the story without addressing those points, without addressing the I want cash brought to me, or I sent this to the wrong address, or
I agree.
didn't dox this person.
Yeah.
You can't do the story without those. It would be a glaring bias if you tried to put out a video without those things. And at the end of the day, I don't think many people want to, attach their name to something like that when, as we all know, everything on the internet lasts forever. And you would have to answer to that. It's easier to just, comment on things in the comment section than to actually have a standalone video that people are going to watch and be critical of, and you have to try to defend that. So I think that's the reason why.
I agree with you. And I do invite anyone out there, and this is me being serious. I'm not going to meme on you. I'm not going to put you down. I will respond to any video that's put out on this fairly, that's not trolling, that actually tries to put out a well thought out presentation on this. And I invite it, honestly, because I haven't got anybody to rebut the stuff I put out on NonSec, not even his friends. Literally, the only thing Steve did was he went live, boomed out, pulled his hair out sideways while he was talking, going, nothing. It's actually the best meme ever.
Do that. He don't have much left.
Yeah, and he tried to say that when he told you to pay him cash, he was actually saying a check or a money order or some type of course I wouldn't want cash, but of course he wanted cash.
He didn't say that. He said cash.
He said cash. Yes. He wanted you to bring cash to NunCon. It's not the only time he said it either. So it's like, and this is the thing, that other side exists, soft lies. Yeah, Kyle messed up, didn't he? He messed up on the non-sex situation. But those who say that don't put themselves in your shoes. How do you run a channel when you've got a guy saying some of the most disgusting stuff to the women who appear on the show to the point where they won't come back, and when the intelligent guests debunk his drunken ramblings, then he attacks them and cyberstalks them for months until Aaron Ra or Dillahunty or others finally just smash him with they even smash him in an intelligent way. Dillahunty said, language is our bitch. And apparently so is Steve McRae. Best comment of 2020.
Which was a great line, but
best line.
I even tried to make it work. I think people who are critical of me about splitting with Steve need to look at the fact that Steve used to be on, because we streamed 7 days a week, sometimes more than that. Steve used to be on there every night, and he went down from 7 to 5 to 3 days. And that shows two things. Number one, that shows that I was trying to keep the balance between guests and Steve mixed in with the show, so that the guest who had a problem with Steve could still come on days that he wasn't hosting. And that also shows that if everybody knows how Steve is, if Steve genuinely had a belief that the channel was half his, do you think he would agree to go down from 7 days to 5 days to 3 days? Not a chance in hell. But yet that was never made an issue when I did that. When I made that decision to bring on those other hosts, that was never made an
You,
issue. He went along with it. And there's a reason why he went along with it. And that is because it was my channel.
when you did the Death of Non Sequitur show, had Reds or Steve approached you at all in the entire year before this, any time bringing up any of the stuff they brought up? Or how about this? Did they even approach you once using 50-50 partnership? Didn't that kind of shock the shit out of you? You're sitting there, and for the first time ever, Steve and Red start saying that you guys have a 50-50 business partnership, just kind of like out of the blue. I've looked in every other stream. I don't see Reds and Steve ever saying that there was a 50. I found the stream on Red's channel from days before, or maybe a week before the Death of Non Sequitur happened, where they are talking about how they need you to sign a 50-50 business partnership. Or maybe this was the day before the death. Maybe it was in the Death of Non Sequitur in the beginning. They need you to sign it. And that's the smoking gun of this whole thing. It's the thing I've been like sitting on for my documentary when I finally put this last one out. But you can't be sitting there saying you need Kyle to sign the 50-50 and then for a year tell people you have a 50-50. So what happened there, Kyle? Like, what happened there?
Here's the funny part. Steve, at the very beginning, had the opportunity to enter in a partnership, 50-50, where I was trying to make the show an LLC. I believe it was Nick who showed the original thing that I sent to Steve, asking for him to fill it out and sign his information. He didn't do it because he didn't want his name on anything. He didn't want his name on anything to do with insurance reasons, anything like that. And so that at that moment, I didn't pursue it anymore. At that moment, okay, I'm going to put everything in my name. Therefore, I'm taking all of the responsibility on myself. Therefore, it's my channel. Why would I put my name on documents to make it legal and him reap the benefits of having a 50-50 partnership, but yet not having any of the responsibility if something were to go wrong, if we were to get sued? All of that would be on me because my name is on everything, not Steve's. So he bypassed that in the beginning, and so now he doesn't have a leg to stand on in that sense.
So how did Steve then? And I mean, I want you to give me like your like, just hit me with it. How in the Sam hell does he convince a portion of a community who claim to be intelligent skeptics that can debunk things? How does he convince them that you don't need a contract, that you don't need, that you can just you can have this kind of claimed handshake that you say didn't happen? There was no handshake. There was no agreement for 50-50. How did Steve, and I can't figure this out for the life of me, because I know growing up, my family, my grandparents, uncles, the one thing they'd always say, if you ever do anything, if you ever have a business, you better have everything in writing, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to walk into court and get your money or get paid. So how does he not put it in writing, deny putting anything in writing, and yet still, after all this happens, he's convinced people that call themselves skeptical that you guys have a 50-50 when we have an unsigned document that shows you don't have it? How?
I think it's a lot of things. I think that at the time that the channel was was mildly popular and had a pretty good following. And I think just like with anything else, like when your favorite show's canceled or your favorite band breaks up, you look for somebody to sort of pin that on because you're mad that it doesn't exist anymore, or that it's not going to be a thing anymore. And I think in this situation, because I was choosing to try to handle this between Steve and I and not be so like vocal and out in the public, and I think because Steve was willing to do the opposite, like he wanted to jump on every stream that he could to say that I had wronged him at some point, it was easy for people to sort of paint me as the bad guy. I think it was just a combination of a lot of different aspects within this situation that just sort of played out that way. I think in the long run, the majority of everyone came around to see what he was, what the problem really was. But in the beginning, I think it was just that people were upset that it was abruptly ending the way that it was, and I was not being as vocal as Steve was about things.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I agree. And it kind of, I think, and I've always learned this about these kind of stories, and it's why, like, instead of me putting out some really big thing, I'll typically wait until a couple months have passed, because people are emotional. People love the show. They're reactionary. They don't like that it split up. They want it to keep going, especially if they donated. I see that 100%. It's probably a lot of people took a lot of those types of feelings, and because of the anger, because of whatever reason, they didn't think logically. But now there's really no excuse. And I have, even up to last week or the week before, have tried to press Steve and company to finally get whatever they've got out there so that the community can put this to rest. And they didn't, of course. And I think a lot of people have finally moved on, and they now know the truth. There is no agreement. There is no contract. There's nothing legal. I don't know how he's going to stand in front of the judge after you respond with this lawyer. Oh, shit, dude. This judge is going to be fucking pissed because he sat there and convinced this judge that he had some proof of a partnership, and he has nothing. I just don't understand why he would do that. It's like sink his ship. It's going to sink his ship.
See it myself, but that's, he wanted to go this way, and so whatever consequences arise out of that are of his doing. This none of this had to get as ugly as it did, but that just goes to show you the character of the person that we're dealing with here. He's fine to harass somebody that people that have nothing to do with this case, and you're seeing the worst of this neck of the YouTube woods, I think.
Because honestly, that's how I take it now. I see a man who wishes that a couple years ago or a year ago, he would have sat down with you and signed some paperwork so that when he did start hitting on women, harassing guests, he was protected to do it. You would be so fucked if that paper would have got signed, or if there would have been some agreement with them, because there's nothing that would have stopped him from harassing the female guests and the male guests like he did. But if he did have some type of agreement with them, a contract, I mean, shit, dude, like, there would have been no way to kick him off. It wouldn't be where it's at now. And it's a horrible thought thinking that he would have been able to hide behind it. Because I've seen your conversation with him. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you showed me DMs where you had tried to kick him off the channel like a year before, and there was no mention of a 50-50 of a partnership, and he was just begging for you to keep him on. So that was enough for me.
I agree. I think it, like I said, it's unfortunate that we are where we are and talking about what we are, but that's, life throws you curveballs sometimes, and this has definitely been a roller coaster. I think just when you think Steve did what 6 victory streams,
wow.
And now he can't even stream, period. So I don't think things turned out quite the way
I'm glad you said
he wanted them to.
I'm glad you said that, because there are some more questions people have been sending in that I was supposed to ask for this stream, and I always forget to get things written down. And, we need to start rolling this out sometime soon. So let's do that. Let's hit up some of the stuff that's coming in. I'll be hitting all your super chats, so don't think we're ignoring you. We're not. Okay, now, the strikes against Steve, people would like you to explain them. But also, people have been asking me like crazy if I know of a court date with the non-sec thing. Is there any date set yet, or is it pretty open-ended? What's going on there? Do you know?
Not yet. There hasn't been a date update yet. Obviously, with COVID, that kind of the court shut down for a period of time, and so they're not only they were shut down, but they're backed up. Like the caseloads are backed up. So it's just kind of awaiting a waiting game now. But as soon as that is updated and I get a court date, I will make sure that everybody knows what date that is.
Gotcha. Okay, so then the other thing that I just want to make sure, because I'll forget and we won't get to it if I don't bring it up. Steve, I know, because I saw the first interview that you did coming back here, I saw you having 2 copyrights, or at least a couple or something. So can you don't have to get deep with it if you don't want to, but can you explain what happened to an extent with the strikes that Steve got clearer? Because I've already told people what I know, but I want to make sure they hear it from you. So what's going on with those copyrights?
The videos that I struck were I did some artwork for Steve that appeared in those channels. They are with the financial documents that I filed with the court. Those are included in those, that copyright intellectual property that is owned by me. I let Steve know that he no longer had permission to use said pieces of work, and as a result, the strikes were a result of that. I'm not going to go into too much more detail than that, because this is an ongoing thing. But they are not false DMCAs. I did them on videos that had nothing to do with me. If I was gonna false flag and strike him, they would be on videos that were critical of me, and those weren't the videos that were hit. They were videos that clearly had my intellectual property in them that were not removed when requested, and so they are legit. They were checked out by YouTube, and they have not been overturned, so they are legit strikes.
Okay, and because you could have struck so much more. People don't really understand copy strikes and copyright law. I know, because I don't understand it that much, but I've had to, because of my channels, and I've had to actually work with other channels that have struck me, and I have had to strike other channels that did full uploads of some of my documentaries and stuff. So I know how licenses work, but I know a lot of people don't. And if you were to use somebody's art and you don't have a drawn up signed license, which is like I know it's weird. It's like having a contract, that weird words coming back, the contract. You don't have the ability to open-endedly use their work. They can come back, let's say, I don't know, if you slander and stalk and cyber stalk and lie and attack them for a year, they can come back and decide to pull that stuff off your channel. And I know that you offered him time to take that stuff down. Why did he just not take down those videos? Because you asked him or something, or what?
Right, because he's stubborn. And the thing, the way that this works is in one of the videos, it had nothing to do with the Non Sequitur show. It was one of his DEF CON science series. So this is something that I created, not having anything to do with the Non Sequitur show. But if Steve had paid me for that artwork to use, then that would be that would transfer the ownership to him. He purchased that artwork from me. But because he didn't, I still own the rights to the intellectual property there. He's using it at my leisure, and his leisure with me, it ran up a long time ago. But just now I revoked that. But he didn't remove it because he's a stubborn idiot.
Oh yeah, exactly. And Steve is watching right now. Hey, big guy. Because he's on Twitter and he's responding. And guys, hold on. I have that. Hold on. I've got that. Hold on really quick.
Expose me, Boomer.
I don't think you could hear it, but they could. He's watching, saying that fact, claim, Steve bought subs. Fact, that never happened. And of course, Cheshire comes in and says, didn't you have Google check that out or something? And he's like, when I spoke to Google, yes. You're lying to everybody. All you did was do some little typey thing with Google. That is not having Google run some kind of damn check on your channel, dude. Like, honestly, you are so dishonest in the way you represent things. He'll take any tiny thing, and if he thinks he can represent that, he'll go do something that he knows isn't Google running some comprehensive check on his channel to see if he bought subs. But if he thinks he can tell it to the audience and get them to believe it, and this is why he is experiencing the amount of problems he is on the internet, because people aren't stupid. And if you just be honest with people, it wouldn't be this way. But you won't.
If he didn't buy subs, then Steve, I challenge you to do this. Release your in your analytics, release your subscribers so that we can see if there are actual people who interact, watch videos, that sort of thing, and your watch time, detailed watch time analytics from the past 3 months. And let's see if your watch times, if your watch times have increased along with your subscriber count, or are they pretty much saying the same. You know, you can manipulate with comments and things like that, but also explain why so many repeat comments were popping up across multiple videos, and why the owners of the channels that even commented had to come in and comment and say that they didn't leave that comment. If you explain those 3 things, I have no problem retracting my statement that you bought subs. But until then, you fucking bought subs.
You bought
everybody
subs.
knows it.
And I'll tell you why right now. And I've said this before. I don't know. Maybe he's just watching this show, because I know he's watched my other shows. Dude, you messed up because you used a cheap bot company. See, wherever you bought these subs, however it happened, I didn't do it. AT2 Pro did. Whoever got these subs under your order, or whether you did, instead of having them sub from a video, you guys messed up, because it would have given that video views, and then it would look like people are subbing while watching a video. Instead, they are subscribing from the YouTube search. You are having sometimes almost more subs than views. You get 60 or 70% subscribers based on your view rate. And that is because whatever bot is subbing to you is not even clicking one of your videos to sub. It's using the link to the YouTube search and clicking, because if those bots were going to the front of your channel, it would be giving you a view for the video that you got on the front of your channel, my guy. And you think that all of these creators out there are just stupid and everybody's just out to get you. It's actually the other way around. You're doing everything you can to go out and get other people. Sorry.
Did he release the conversation he had with YouTube? Because he's all the time talking about facts and evidence. Like, when we hear a claim, we ask for evidence. Well, if you had a conversation with YouTube, release that conversation. Show us where you had a back and forth between the YouTube team, what you said and what they said. Show us factually that conversation happened. Let's see it.
Well, and he did talk about the conversation, and he literally just had one of those little help window conversations. He's trying to represent it like those little help window conversations can investigate his channel. Investigating a channel for bot subs takes time. So he's trying to say within the window of time that he typed to that little help window that they went and checked his channel. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Show the conversation. And there's a
I think he did. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, the entire one. Like, if they gave him a detailed, account of what was happening.
Oh no, they didn't.
Because there's a female creator, wonderful channel. She got hacked a couple of months ago, and she contacted YouTube support to try to figure out what was going on with that situation. It took her 3 months to hear a conclusive thing from Google. I mean, like, the fact that Steve, I guess Steve is just so high and mighty in YouTube that, he's got him on, maybe he's got Susan on speed dial. Maybe it was, maybe he talked to Susan.
Because, he's got better luck getting his channel looked at by the technicians at Google than even a channel with 3 million subscribers. It's the craziest thing ever. He's a celebrity, dude. We're all crazy for not. We should be kissing the ring on his finger is what we should be doing. No, these are those. I talked about this on Periscope today. One thing that these guys do, if you go look at Twitter and you look at his little stock group of defenders, They are so dishonest with the way they respond to anybody, but yet they act like they're surprised that the internet hates them. The internet hates you guys because of how you treat other people, and how you should be being at least up front and some accountability for the things you're doing. Yeah, but we've got a bunch of super chats. I got to get to them. I'm losing my mind. My mind keeps saying read the super chats, and I keep not doing it. August says, yeah, because
I've got about 20 minutes left.
Okay.
Uni, before I need to jet.
Let me hit this real fast, and I might have to do some of them after you leave, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, because people sub on channels that are not adding content. People sub on a channel that creates multiple videos about drama that nobody heard of. I believe you, Steve. Thousands would have. And so much sub talk. Now I'm hungry, says Michael. Subway. Go, Michael. Get it. No. Okay. You've only got 20 minutes left. That's about how much time. Well, we've only got like 15 minutes left, because if I go above 2 hours, then the replay won't show the beginning, and I want it to show the beginning. So let's go ahead and round this out and get towards the end. So one last thing I want to hit here is that you have put out a GoFundMe. You started a day after him. He started before you, and you've got almost as much money raised as him. Also,
2 days.
2 days, that's right. Also, if you take out Ruhif's donation of $500 from his GoFundMe, you've beat him. Now, the reason why I say Ruhif's donation should be taken out is because Ruhif has been giving money to Steve McRae for months and months and months. He's been funding pretty much his entire existence and lawsuit for 6 months now. Ruhif has. And Ruhif has been giving him that money. Why would Ruhif give him $500 through this when it's going to take a percentage of it, when he could just give the money to Steve the same way he's been doing it and not throw away a percentage of the money? Because they want to stack the deck. They know that if you do start your GoFundMe, like Sunday when I said you might be starting a GoFundMe, so Monday morning Steve started one to compete with you and try to, get money because of you. If Ruhif, in my opinion, his donation doesn't count, because he should have just given that money the same way he has been. It was all for show. So you're actually fairly beating him in the GoFundMe, which I want to congratulate you for.
I think that, I guess I'll take this opportunity now, again, to thank everyone, for their overwhelming support, especially in this uncertain economy that we have now with COVID and the way that that's probably impacted people. This is not something that you had to do, and you may think that I've given you no reason to, like with the guy earlier who think that I maybe had some fault in this, but for those that did and donated, especially with your funny comments, it means the world. I definitely appreciate it, and it will go to help sort of stop what we've been talking about tonight, and so that this can finally end. And to those of you who haven't donated financially, but like I said earlier, you've reached out and supported me by giving me words of encouragement or asked how you could help out to get stuff together for the case, or even those that have been critical and asked me questions because you genuinely wanted to know the answer to things, and you weren't biased, but you just had questions. I appreciate each one of you. It's meant a lot to me. I miss you guys terribly. It's fun to hang out with you in the chats here from time to time and talk shit back and forth. But I definitely do miss all of you guys, and I just appreciate every one of you for everything that you guys have done for me. I'm
gonna get you back on YouTube. Whether you'll do it on wherever you're gonna do it, I'm at least gonna get you on this channel every once in a while to keep us updated. Because that is it's a tragedy, it's a travesty what's gone on, especially when I do feel that the side here has been as fair as humanly possible in dealing with the dirty tricks from the other side throughout all of this. We don't really owe them. One thing I hope changes after this whole restraining order thing's done, and because I think he's only got until like today. It was the last day, or maybe Monday is. I'd have to look, but
I think it's Monday.
Monday? Yeah, after Monday, if he doesn't do his appeal, that thing is locked in for 2 years. And even though I'm not an idiot, so I know that he'll be doing it behind the scenes, underground, under a sock account, whatever. And I know that the authorities have a means of trying to combat that, but still, I hope that people will stop giving that kind of thing, that kind of charity towards their side that some people, like very few people, still give them, because we've been fair as possible. Everything we've done is based on evidence. I put you through the ringer. I put Katie through the ringer. I've questioned you guys for hours and to get to the bottom of this whole story. And I'll say it, you guys have been open and honest. You've showed me every single thing. Even when I tried to tell you I didn't need certain things, you were open to have me go to your DMs, open to have me go to records. And I'm telling you, when I was working with Steve, it was all a promise. Oh, yeah, I'll give you that contract in a month, a week, tomorrow. Oh, I'll give you that data here. Oh, yeah, we'll do this then. And even with the Katie Joyce situation, when he asked me to do a documentary on it, that was the response I got from him. And the minute I talked to Katie, everything was laid right in front of me instantly. So it's very easy once you're in our chair to see what's going on.
Well, we're not, or I speak for myself, I'm not perfect. Like I said, there's plenty of blame to go around in all of this. But the one thing you'll never hear me either complain about or try to fight against is people being critical of me or asking questions. I invite that. It's the reason I went on Nick Suter's show. That crowd was obviously going to be really anti-Kyle. But I think it's important when you're trying to, get the truth across and state your case that you sort of not flip out when people ask you a question that goes against you. I know there are people out there that disagree with me and that have different opinions than I do, and you won't find me criticizing that. But on the other side, the moment you start to break ranks, you're deemed a heretic and kicked out and burn at the stake as a troll. And so I think that should really show people something.
Yeah, I agree. So here we got 10 minutes. Let's do a bullet round now, like a quick fire thing, and stream. If you get any like fuzzy in the video quality, just hang in there. My connection's just barely teetering a little, but it'll be okay. So very quickly, I'm going to hit the super chats, and we're going to give a quick sentence response, whatever we can. And then the last thing we'll talk about is what's next before we get out of here. Leroy, hashtag No Rules Sunday. Oh, yeah, a couple days away. Dragnot donated $2. Thank you. And I do want you on the show as soon as I'm very irresponsible, Dragnot, but I will love to have you on anytime I can get you here. Dance Puppets Dance, says Drag. Adorable Snowflake, thank you for the unicorn. Flying Monkey, I went to Nuke School. I was a janitor, but I was there. Leroy, it's spelled Nuke School. NOOKSKOOL, critical thinker. August, a sense of humor is the best way to live. Angry faces make deep wrinkles. Great quote. And oh my God. Did you know that Dead Cuckities in Space is an author? Loads of books on Amazon. I bought a sci-fi one. It's hilarious. You should read some. It's like $2 digital. I'm gonna be buying some. I'm gonna be doing a book review real soon.
Order that one after I do the Brett Keane book from Amazon, which is also available.
Oh yeah, dude.
I can't remember. If anybody knows the name of that, put it in the chat. But Brett Keane has 3 books, I believe, on there.
Really?
And I read the first one. Yeah,
I've talked to him. I saw him in a Discord server. The guy was talking to me forever, dude. Like,
yeah, he has 3 books on Amazon.
Okay. 100% Rebel says Kyle said that Ruhif intimidated him during the lawsuit. Does Kyle have evidence of this that he can show to his lawyer? 100% Rebel. Ruhif, come on, dude. You are more than welcome to be on my channel as Ruhif if you just stop spamming my comments. Deal? I'll unblock you tonight. Stop spamming. Ruhif wants to know if you have any evidence that he tried to intimidate you.
Yes, I blocked him on a social media platform that keeps those in things called DMs. So absolutely.
Well, maybe I'll be doing a video sometime in the next few days. I don't know.
I will be happy to send them over to you, Uni.
Well, maybe I'll have you do that. Well, I'll have you do that. I don't know if I'll be showing them. It depends. I have a rule. I can only show DMs if they are very relative. So we'll see. But I'm sure they will be if he was fucking with you. It's definitely worth showing. Suge, enjoying your stream with Kyle Uni. Nice to see Kyle and KJP defend themselves against the Boomer Brigade. Take care. I love that. I love the Boomer Brigade. I love it. I love that.
Suge has a good channel too.
He does. He does great commentary. Imagine Suge in a year if he keeps doing it. Imagine his videos. Just in a few months.
Definitely needs to.
He is a natural. Learning with Suge. Gabriel, I want to see...
Sobriety, too.
No. Yes, shout out Menace, please.
And Uni, forgive me. I just need to... I believe on your Discord, his name is Taken. Is that it?
Taken, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the artwork that was used in my GoFundMe cover picture. Like, you did an incredible job on this, and the Brokeback Mountain one too was hilarious. But I that one's not featured on the thing. But awesome job in that that artwork.
Taken does the best, is so good at Photoshop. This is one of Taken's masterpieces, this busy artwork. Crack, crack, crack. And it's so good. Or I might have added the 3, but Taken sent me the master one. It was so good. I've read that. The Stoned Apostate is the one that I would like for you to do a commentary. If you want to just email me, if you don't make videos, if you let me know, I can send you some links that'll blow your mind, because it'll just be Steve lying for an hour. Michael, thanks for joining. August, what's the difference between Steve and the clock behind Kyle? Kyle's clock is right twice a day. Tee. I love your jokes. I love your jokes.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that clock's definitely for display purposes only.
Christina, Kyle picked all the guests and never needed Steve's approval because Kyle was the boss. Exactly.
That is true.
Marcy, I already answered that about if there's a court date yet. We've answered that. Kyle, good luck. And some of us missed the show with Casey. They want you to keep streaming, dude.
I miss you guys as well. Maybe if we win the case, we'll do a dramatic reading of the court. Maybe we'll have.
Oh, that would be so good.
Play,
oh my God.
Parts. Do a special or something like that.
That'd be so good. Oh, we have to, man. Kyle, we all took a vote. The hair is everything tonight. They love the hair. Just letting you know.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. That made my night right there.
Gabriel says boomer equals cult members times bot squared. That's the boomer equation. Yes, thank you, Gabriel. It's scientific.
If P, then Q. If P, then Q.
Insidious Vid says, hey, what's up, Kyle? Gonna donate. Enjoy your cinnamon toast crunch.
Yes, thanks, man. I miss you too.
Insidious Vids, you got a great the Menace to Sobriety. And I know it doesn't Insidious do videos. Insidious,
yeah,
it could be, or tweets at least. I know the tweets, but yeah, all these channels have done such a good job at documenting and commentating. And I hope they all keep doing what they're doing. The key to... let me give you some advice from somebody who has 3 channels that all have thousands of subs. You want to know how you can get thousands of subs right now? Like, I ain't even kidding. You just upload every day. Upload something. Just give your thoughts. If you upload something, that algorithm is going to share you. I guarantee it. Upload every day. You're golden, girls. We've got a couple minutes left. So the last thing we're going to hit. What does the future hold? What do you think is going to happen? What happens next? What's up? What are we going to see happening, Kyle?
At a certain point earlier, I may have attempted to answer the question, what happens next? But as people can see with the past couple of months, you just don't know. Like, every day I wake up to some surprising thing that he or people on his side have done that just blow my mind. Recently with someone being okay with children no longer being here past the
age of 3.
At the age of 3. So I'm not even going to attempt to answer what I think will happen next, because whatever I say, life's just going to go hold my beer and move past me. So what I think will happen with the case, I think that the case the judgment will get set aside. I think we've got a pretty strong case there. I am looking into some counteraction once the case is restarted, if the case is restarted. And then we'll go from there. But I think that Steve's victory lap streams were quite premature.
Very premature.
It has played out.
Yeah, man. Yep. How much time you have, Kyle? I don't want to hold you any past any time you got to go. So
I've got about 3 minutes.
Okay. So we're gonna we're just gonna close her out. So Kyle, you are welcome on this channel, and you're welcome on the Rock a Lot anytime you want to come, any night. If I'm talking about something, you want to jump in for a minute, I can pull you through Discord. I just appreciate you coming. Hopefully. I don't want to be premature in my celebration, but honestly, there is no celebration in this thing in all reality, as long as people stop being harassed and we all can commentate and give opinion. I think that's the best. Even Steve, I want him to be able to make content that doesn't involve harassment.
I think, in closing, number one, thank you for allowing me to come on and talk. I look forward to Sunday. And again, anybody that goes to the GoFundMe and leaves comments, I'll pick out a lot of the ones that a lot of them just make me chuckle, especially the names. Like, you guys are just brilliant. So Sunday I'll read those off. But I think what this boils down to is what you just said. Like, even though I despise Steve and everything that he has done, a decent person just doesn't wish, harm or just the need to be such a, like he said, destroy. I'm going to burn Katie's channel to the ground. Just be a decent human being. Like, I despise Steve, but I don't want Steve to be harassed or afraid that somebody's outside of his house taking pictures or any of that sort of thing. I just dislike Steve, and it stops there. Like, my dislike for him stops at the point where I'm going to fight back against the lawsuit and that sort of thing, but I'm not going out of my way to create all of these things that try to ruin Steve's life. Quite frankly, I think it'd be hard to make Steve's life any worse than it is now. I think it's a sad state of being when you wake up with this perpetual need to
hate.
The hate. It's just not a way to. In a way, I feel for him. If you're just a decent person, decent people don't agree with anything Steve is doing. Whether you agree with me or not, you can disagree with me and still disagree that what Steve is doing is too far. And that's a decent person. What makes an indecent person is someone who sees that there is a big difference between what Steve's doing and what, the right thing to do is, and still sides with Steve or still gives Steve money to fund his lawsuits and this sort of thing. So they're culpable in everything that he does and vice versa. And I think it's just a sad state to be in. I guess I'm lucky when it comes to that, because I don't wake up with Steve as the first thought in my head. He may come later on, but I think they need to really evaluate what's important in life and just grow the fuck up. I
agree, man. I agree. Kyle, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
We'll see you soon. We'll get you back in Sunday. Sunday we'll be here to talk about the rest of the GoFundMe.
I look forward to it, man. Bye, you guys. Right. Love you all, and thanks again.
All right, buddy. Okay, that was Kyle Curtis, y'all, from Non Sequitur. We're going to go ahead and I know I'm running past the 2-hour mark, but a lot of you guys donated, and I just want to try to read off a couple more of the comments on the GoFundMe, because I know that the people that were kind enough to donate, I'm going to try to do that for you, and I'm going to sum this up really fast, especially if Steve is watching. I have a challenge for Steve and his friends. Let me hook you up. I've been working on getting my OBS studio looking better because right now it looks a little janky. So hopefully by the end of the weekend, hopefully tomorrow, I'll have a brand new studio to stream from here to match all the new stuff I've got. And I might even put up my green screen. I don't know. Though, the challenge I have for Steve McRae and his cohorts is for them to start making videos. All of them have YouTube channels, the ones that are left at least. And if you really are serious about your hatred for Katie Joy, your hatred for Kyle, your hatred for me, you would just make videos. You would just make responses. We would be able to respond to your responses. And you could explain your side finally. Nothing is stopping any of you other than Steve from uploading, but he doesn't mind going to the Great Debate community to lie to everybody. And why not just give the full story? Why not tell the full story? That Kyle contacted you. He told you that you had art that he copyrighted, not through non sequitur, that he wanted down. He gave you plenty of time to do it. And songs that he also had copyright. And when you did not take them down, he struck you because it's his right, especially after filing that paperwork he filed. It's his right to do so. Even without the paperwork, the simple copyright was enough. This is the issue that I have throughout the whole thing. We have all been responding with videos. Suge, Learning with Suge, Menace to Sobriety. I could just Nate Brody. I could name so many people. Do we ever see them respond to these things? All they do is get together in a live stream. They never pull clips. They never actually respond. Instead, it's just, we did good things with our GoFundMes. And since we did good things with them, we got to party with that money. You know, you guys have to say that we did good stuff. Look, just make some damn videos. Let's put this to rest. Let's end this damn thing, because the Katie Joy part of this is going to be over very soon. Katie is pressing charges and taking this as far as humanly possible, because I think it was kind of assumed that once a restraining order actually went through, people would just criticize publicly, but you didn't. You stayed underground. You thought you were like protected somehow to call and threaten her and leave death threats at her house while you're in a drunken state at night. Little Red. And if you don't think that people know you're buying subs, dude, then you could have already proved. Remember when Steve accused me of paying? So I had 3,000 people watching live while I made fun of Nathan Oakley. I was debunking Nathan Oakley and laughing at him. And there was about 2,800, 3,000 people is where we peaked out at. Maybe it peaked out at 3,200. There's a clip of it on the channel, and the live stream is still up if you find it. The reason I bring this up, when Steve got mad at me, he started to tell people, not before he got mad, all after he got mad at me, he started to tell people that I had paid and botted for the viewership that got me 3,000 concurrent viewers that night. So what did I do? Immediately when I saw that he did that, I went into my analytics and I screenshotted the analytics of that video to prove where those viewers came from. 84 or 88%, something, it was above 80%, all came from the YouTube search and recommended algorithm, and it showed it in my analytics, and I put it out. There is way, and he knows there's way. If you want to take this whole stream and you want to respond to that part of it, I didn't buy subs, they're lying. I got a gotcha for them. Remember, I contacted Google. You didn't contact Google because Google would have taken at least hours, if not days, to run an algorithmic check on your channel to check for those subs. They actually do that sometimes. They actually run checks on our channels sometimes. So my point is, this is how this whole story, it's just a petty back and forth at this point. It's a petty back and forth when you've got people putting out actual commentary, well thought out responses, good clips, good videos that expose the lies and the drivel that's coming from the other side. And instead of actually responding, these guys just try to take one little thing that they've got out there and act like it takes them, like it got a home run. Well, you might have been able to do that in the beginning of the story, but now there's a restraining order and there is legal action. Isn't it ironic? I was saying this on Periscope. It's the most ironic thing ever that he started out being so celebratory. He was celebrating his ass off about suing Kyle. He'd won, and he's celebrating suing Kyle. And his friends, all his supporters, all 20 of them, we're all in that stream with them, you know, talking about how Kyle's going to be arrested. Kyle's going to go to jail. The judge was right. That judge is great. You've got to listen to that judge. The judge proved it. We've got a judge on our side. Now that the judge says that, you know for a fact that I was right about non sequitur, even though it was a default judgment. Why in the world, then, when this RO gets signed by a judge, is it that the judge is wrong? The RO is incorrect. Katie lied to this judge to get the judge to sign an inaccurate, ineffective RO. These things do not get overlooked by the people. These things are the hypocritical things that you guys put out. They are the things that expose you for being one-sided, two-faced, and disingenuous in this story. And after so many examples like that pile up, now you're left in this mess that you're in, acting like it's always us versus them. If it isn't us versus them, it's the entire internet and every logical person out there against you guys and your bullshit. So let's just drop it. Stop attacking Katie Joy Paulson. If you want to criticize her in videos publicly on YouTube under your channel. Don't pull a dapper dino. Don't be a dapper dino and go create another alter ego on another YouTube channel so that you can simp out for Cheshire and not have it reflect back on your main channel, so that, you know, you don't have to live with the repercussions of all the lies you told on your new channel, right? And one of my top critics, Dead Cuckities in Space, is an author. I gotta read these books. I'm gonna be your biggest fan, my guy. I'm gonna get your books. I'm gonna do a damn book review. Book review. Dead Cuckities in Space. All right, let's get out of here by pulling up the live chat, making sure I got all the super chats, and heading to the rock a lot much. Rock a lot, rock a lot, rock a lot, rock a lot. Rock a lot, rock a lot, rock a lot. In space, in space, in space. I'm renaming my channel. UNIRock in Space, the author. shit. Wow. Wow. What? What do you mean you're going to author a new book? Busy. You're just going to make us look bad again. Don't even talk. Oh, that's a great idea. Like a free ebook or something? Okay, I'll support that. Mr. Baker. So Busy says he's going to write a book. It's going to be called Busy the Crackhead in Space, and it's going to be all the different donations from the GoFundMe in one ebook for free. You're going to give it away for free? You're just a good guy. You're just a good guy. They are that good. These donations are good enough to become a novel, a graphic novel even. Okay, we're going to fast fire through these. We're going to hit the super chat as quick as we can, and we're going to hit the live chat because I want to play some damn video games. I'm behind in my video game playage. Also, those of you that may know what The Last of Us Part 2 is, we are going to be watching some movies on the Rock A Lot channel this week. If you want to come for Rock A Lot Movie Night, we're going to watch The Last of Us Part 2, the movie, which is all the cutscenes of The Last of Us Part 2, so that I can write a review about them. And we're going to be watching the South Park Stick of Truth, the movie, which is every cutscene and the entire story from the video game South Park Stick of Truth, which is basically just a giant South Park episode. We're going to watch that too. We've got a lot of movies coming up in the next month on the Rock A Lot. Those will be the first ones we watch. If you want to come watch them with us, subscribe to our live after show gaming channel, the Rock A Lot. Now, it's the only parking lot that's actually fun to sit in. We've got Mary. Steve needs to be shut down. You know, I disagree. He needs to be shut down if he doesn't stop harassing Katie. If he does, then he should be able to post videos, put out his opinion, and have an internet following, just like as long as he's honest about it, just like everybody else, in my opinion. But I agree if he won't stop with this Katie harassment. Teen Mom Steve donated, King of Narratives, the Pope of Agnosticism, because I know that there really is no such thing as agnostic rocks. I'm a liar and a fraud. Hashtag Uni was right. Kyle's $400 suit says I'm ready for court. Team I shouldn't read this because he'll just get mad at me and attack me for doing it. But team, you're more than welcome to come talk anytime. I don't hate you. I don't hold grudges. I don't permaban anybody that doesn't break TOS in my chat or here. And, I do think that people make mistakes. I used to support Steve at one time because I didn't know what was going on in the background. And I do think that eventually you and Fight will wake up to what your friends have been doing, because I don't think they've been honest with you guys. I think if they, I hope to fuck that they haven't been honest with you guys, because I liked you guys. And if they have been being honest with you and you've known about this the whole time, then I obviously I'm wrong. But if if you don't know, if you know, you finally wake up to what's going on around you and you kind of get away from it. Yeah. Okay. I'm tired of simping for McBoomer. I feel like an idiot. The Granny Brigade, please help unwash our brain. Steve taxes. So yeah, like if you have a large sum in savings, is it considered taxable income? And when you have a child who is in your custody, you would be an absolute ding-dong not to claim them unless, child support. Uni was right. I don't even know what that means, but that was that comment. I guess I would need to think about it. Maybe I'm not smart enough to get that one. Department of Fish and Game Services says, eradicate the silverfish. Save the world. I love that the Department of Fish and Game Services donated. Oh, God. Steve's agnostic rocks. We are really atheist rocks, but arguing semantics with Steve is just so draining. Hashtag Uni was right. Oh, so you keep telling him that you're agnostic just so you don't got to argue. Got it. Kyle's mom's mailman. Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom. I will deliver improperly served court paperwork. Hashtag Uni was right. Bullinator says, Steve pinches me when nobody's looking and Red steals my lunches. Frowny face. Sorry, Bull. David Silverman donated $5. Thanks, David. Steve forced me to say penis, penis, penis while looking at the camera. These are memes. These are so created. These are so creative that they meet the level, the requirement of the meme. Steve's restraining order donated $10. The day that I met my new friend Steve, he was sitting on a dirty towel in front of the home of his closet, taking pictures of his feet with his track phone. His screams frightened me, if I'm honest. Apparently, he had just made a post that he was waiting for the FBI to show up. I was sorry to be such a disappointment. Anyway, hashtag Uni was right. You guys are too flattering. All these Uni was right. You're gonna make me all cocky. Steve's haircut fund says maybe this money will finally be put to good use. Steve's blow-up doll, $10. Get me out of the closet. It stinks in here. Steve's attorney says, let's make this a fair fight. I don't like my client either, but Ruhif is paying me. If you ever need a laugh, you can just go to this GoFundMe. I swear to God. Incels of the world unite. Steve sent us over to support our show. That one had me rolling. Ruhif's power of attorney says, hashtag Uni was right. And now this one is just too much. This one is too good. This one's dead serious. This is a dead serious donation. Ex-cult member. It's kind of chilling. Donated $500. None of the cult members who are creators will see any more money from me. Oh my God, that's chilling as hell. It's chilling. Thank you for coming. I've been your host, UNIRock. My assistant, who was smoking crack the entire time and did a lot of nothing, is Busy the Baker. And our guest tonight was Kyle Curtis. This has been UNIRock Live, broadcasted from the East Coast of the glorious United States of America. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to the YouTube channel, The Rock a Lot. I'll see you there in about 10 minutes. Hopefully you'll come join me. I will host the after show chat there, and as we roll out, I will read the rest of the super chat donations. I appreciate your support, and thank you for supporting Kyle. The last thing I'll say is that for those of you that have watched throughout the entire saga, I didn't support Kyle or Katie in the beginning. Of course, a narrative was put out that I was paid off by both of them, which is insane. But no, I was paid off. I'm admitting it. They paid me off to support them. I'm admitting it. They didn't pay me money, though. They paid me in hard evidence. And then I had to make a decision. Do I show you the evidence? Do I challenge my entire viewer base and show you the truth, what I was shown that proves their side, their case? Or do I just sit and hope that I won't stir the water? Do I just sit and hope that I don't make anyone mad and just keep lying to you and myself and supporting the side that has no evidence? So I think you know what way I went, but they paid me. They paid me in hard evidence. Let's do these super chats. Let's get out of here. All right. Michael Newman, so much sub talk, now I'm hungry. Insidious, what up, Kyle? Going to donate. Enjoy your Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Michael came in with the last donation. I read it earlier. I can't read it again. I'm sorry, my guy. If somebody wants to type what it was, I'll read it again. But Gabriel, Kyle deserves a medal for putting up with Steve. Gabriel, boomer equals cult members times bots squared. August, because people sub on channels that are not adding content. People sub on a channel that creates multiple videos about drama that nobody heard of. I believe you, Steve. Thousands wouldn't. Jules, Kyle, we all took a vote. The hair is everything tonight. I'm going to the Rock a Lot. Thank you. UNIRock out.